All right, we'll call the meeting to order. It's 7:01. And if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Same to you.
We made it through another one. First, we'll just announce that the meeting is being recorded to be placed on the school website for future broadcast. If I could ask the superintendent for fire department regulations.
Sure. We have two exits located right here, to my left, to my right, behind you. You go straight out there, all the way down. If either one of those are blocked, we can exit right here, take a left, and through the health tech, and out into the hallway, and you'll see the fire exits.
Thank you. Next up, we have approval of minutes. The first set of minutes we have is from the regular meeting of December 5th, 2022.
Make a motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as presented. Any discussion or changes? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Unanimous. Next up, we have the special meeting minutes from December 12th, 2022.
Motion to approve. Seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any changes or discussion?
Abstain.
Oh, okay, so we'll put it to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we have one abstention. Motion carries. Item D, under routine matters, approval of the warrants. The warrants are circulating. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look through them and sign them. If I could ask for a motion to accept and sign the warrants.
So moved. Seconded.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item E, correspondence. I think we might have a correspondent. Emery.
I have two letters to read. The first is from Sue Foskett to the superintendent. Dear Kyle, as you know, this has certainly been one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, and it doesn't come easy or without some reservations. As everyone knows who has retired before me, there are so many questions to weigh to determine if the time is right. Leaving Bay Path will definitely be bittersweet for me as I submit my letter of retirement with my last day of employment being June 30th, 2023. I know I will leave a little part of my heart here on the Hill. I have worked for and with several administrators and staff here, and I can honestly say that I've learned something from each and every one of them. The knowledge I have gained and all the lessons learned along the way have helped mold me into who I am today. Heck, I've been here half my life. For over 31 years, Bay Path has been a second family and a second home for me. There are so many people I would like to thank, but to name a few just wouldn't be right. So I'll keep things clean and simple, as I usually do, and just thank you all. I am hopeful that I have been able to help the district continue to move forward, and many of you as well, in some small way, but that has always been my goal. My personal schedule has always revolved around my work schedule and meetings. I am proud to say that I have only missed one school committee meeting in the 12 years that I have been the recording secretary. I attribute that to the way I was raised. It's always work before pleasure. My husband will already be retired for a year in April, and I'm now so ready to put my family first with no more work schedule and no more alarm clocks, as I feel I have already missed so much. Bay Path is a wonderful school with great opportunities for those who work here and for the students who attend. Some of my grandkids are also secretly hoping to spend their high school years here. I will always be proud to say Bay Path is where I worked and where I retired from, and I am hopeful that someone special takes my place so things will remain uninterrupted and running smoothly. I wish you all well, and I thank you very much. Sincerely, Wanda Sue Foskett.
You're not blushing enough yet, we gotta get
So you can always come on, back on the board like, you can always come on the board with us, like Mr. Monville did, or everybody else.
Maybe later.
Once there's an opening, you count.
And now you can go big game hunting,
Yeah.
right?
A lot of things.
So the superintendent's response is Sue.
I tried
the
that.
first
I
one.
did it at home.
Your letter notifying the Southern Worcester County Regional Vocational School District of your intention to retire June 30th, 2023 has been accepted with deepest regret. On behalf of the school committee, administration, staff, and students, I sincerely thank you for your 31-plus years of dedicated service. Your contribution to the Bay Path community is truly appreciated, and you will be sorely missed. On a personal note, I would like you to know that you are one of the district's most valuable ambassadors and a true asset. Ever present with a warm welcome and ready to espouse the many wonderful attributes of our institution, 10 communities, faculty, staff, and most importantly, our amazing students. Sue, you are the epitome of teamwork, quality, professionalism, positivity, patience, empathy, and acceptance. Having taken the reins as superintendent during the onset of a global pandemic, a contentious national election, and a world of unrest, I can certainly attest that you have been a welcoming and steadfast beacon of hope that we would surely weather the storm and come through stronger for having done so. I will profoundly miss your smiling face, cheerful demeanor, and unwavering support and commitment. It is my sincere hope that you will enjoy many happy and healthy years of retirement. If you need anything at all, please do not hesitate to contact me. Sincerely, Kyle Brenner. Very well said.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair, if I can add a recent correspondence, again, bittersweet announcement. Cliff filed his intent to retire at the end of March. After 43 years, Cliff started in the 70s while in college as a radio station advisor. 1980, upon graduation, he came back as an audio-video tech. 43 years later, having accumulated over 600 sick days, if that's any testament to his work ethic and dedication to this school, he will retire with distinction, and particularly having this distinction of having been the first and only principal of this institution. Not to mention a full 50 years at the school, having been a freshman when they opened the doors here. I thank Cliff, Mr. Baybath, for everything he has and does for our school day and night. Not day or night, day and night. He's constantly there and ready to do what needs to be done. We accept this decision with deep regret. And I wish him health, happiness, and longevity in his well-deserved golden years.
Do we have anybody else?
I don't even know how to move on after those two things, to be quite honest with you.
God, what a sad night.
So,
To adjourn?
when it comes to Sue, and I know when we get to the round table, there's gonna be a lot of comments on both fronts. But, you know, congratulations to both of you. There's a lot of history moving out of this building with you two when you do go. Sue, you know, in the short tenure that I've had, relatively short tenure on the committee, you know, you are just, everything you do to prepare the committee, get us ready, it's meticulous. You never have to worry whether we're gonna have our meeting packets in order, whether the agenda's gonna be posted correctly, whether meeting minutes have, how often do we have corrections on minutes? it doesn't happen very often, and if it does, it's probably one of our faults. So Sue, thank you for everything you've done, and I know your contributions to the school go way beyond, what we do in this room. For example, the fundraising efforts that I know you play a large part in between the golf tournament and the Santa breakfast, and the money and the funds and the mini grants and everything else that has enabled. Just your contribution in general, even from a personal level, I hear that you're the one who decorates the office for the change of the seasons and for the holidays and everything else, so it's that personal touch. So you're gonna be deeply missed. And Cliff, I mean, what can we say? I just enjoyed a little conversation with Cliff in the back of the room, and heard a little bit more in detail about his history here. And it goes back a long ways, not to make you feel old, but geez, we were talking about computers that could fit in a room. So Cliff, you're gonna be deeply missed too, and thank you for everything that you've done for the school. And I know there's gonna be a lot of other comments as we move through later in the meeting, but we'll start off with that. So congratulations to both of you. Aminda, you have to follow that, because you're next on the agenda.
Okay, so this survey I did for the month of December was pretty unpopular compared to my other ones because we released it on the Friday before break after school. So nobody wanted anything to do with the school at that point. So I got 45 responses, and I focused mostly on mental health and communication issues because those are reoccurring problems that have been brought up in my survey. So I wanted to dig a little deeper. My first question was about the best way for students to receive info about the school, because I had received some complaints about, not being able to catch announcements or stuff like that for especially co-op kids who aren't present for half the time. But I've had 37% of students say that emails are most effective, 26% say that announcements are most effective, 20% say that posters, flyers, or TVs around the school were effective, and 12% that said social media was a good way to get information. So email and announcement seems to be the best way. Now my next question was about mental health, and I asked how can we better show support to students in school? I think the most important answer I got was to make it known that we have resources and that we have a therapist in the building and that we have support services available to students who are struggling, because I had a couple stories told to me from students in the survey about how they didn't know about the resources or found out only after struggling for a really long time. So I think it's important that we just let students know that there are resources available to them so that they can reach out. Because if they don't know that there's anything, they don't know if they can reach out. Another thing I got was getting assigned a lot of homework over break was a problem. So I did bring that up. My next question was about communication issues in general. A lot of students, quite a few actually, said that there was unanswered emails as a problem for communication with teachers. Some teachers use Teams, but some teachers only use emails, and it can get confusing. And a lot of club members complain that their meetings aren't being announced, and there's also connection issues with the Surface Pros in the building. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Aminda?
Yes. Do students usually complain about getting too much homework for a break?
Over break, yeah.
Yeah, because I can remember being in school, and I had so much homework, and we couldn't complain, we just had to do it. I missed the family trip, great trip, because I had so much work to do. So it's not fun, but teachers like to have responsibility. Thanks.
Cliff?
Just to let you know, after the last meeting, when they said the public communications, we took morning announcements and anything that's announced, because kids really weren't listening to the announcements. Every morning announcements are emailed to every student's files now. So even if they're on co-op, whatever's announced in the morning now, every day it goes out right after announcements are over. Just to let everyone know, so yeah, trying to help the communications that was brought up.
Yeah, that's great. That's where we have to commend you for, you know, soliciting that feedback from the students, which enables the administration to help out and improve upon those things that get pointed out. Otherwise, we may not know. So that's great. It's working.
We can probably get something together to, Bob, on the mental health, for what we have for services and that. Probably do a list out, put a part of one of the announcements going out probably next week or later this week, and we'll attach it to one of the morning announcements so they have the whole listing. And where they can find most of it on the website, on the PayPal website.
Great.
And through the chair, the announcements, putting the mental health links there would be great, because we can put the links right on the email. But again, in talking with Arminda earlier today, she said several students appreciated having the announcements emailed, especially the students on co-op, so that is being utilized. And then Arminda wanted to know how she could report out the effects that, you know, the surveys have caused. And we said, well, when you send the survey, you know, maybe a paragraph saying, you know, it's working, your input is being received, such as emails are now, you know, received for the announcements, and we can put the links again for the mental health right there on that one, as well as she talked about Surface Pros not having connectivity, you know, and I promised her, and I did it, I got with our IT director. We are updating the wireless access points throughout the building, and Arminda was really surprised, like, oh, great. So on a daily basis, we service over anywhere from 3,000 to 3,500 unique wireless devices, transferring over 5 terabytes of data throughout the building. And the wireless access points that you see were installed at the renovation. So needless to say, we're due for an upgrade. We filed for and received an FCC E-rate Category 2 funding. So something that would have cost the district over $60,000, we're having funded at 70% through that. And we're updating all the Meraki devices, the Cisco devices throughout the building on that. We're hamstrung by the back ordering of circuit devices. If you haven't heard, there's microchip problems on that. But we should have all our devices are expected by January 24th. So the installation will be completed in-house and prioritized for the areas with the least amount of service available on it. So that's a little update there. We can shorten that and put that in your announcement to everybody as well.
George, do you have something?
I did, yeah, just a question regarding homework policies, or if there is one in place. I know that there's been the argument for years now, the necessity for homework, especially when we're talking about vacations where people are going away. If you're going to the ski slopes and your family's out there having a good time day and night, and you've got to go tuck yourself away in a room to do hours of homework, I would see that being a concern. Again, I haven't studied this issue enough to know what the necessity is to have homework during breaks like that, or I don't even know, as I said, if we have a policy in place. I do know that many teachers from the Auburn School District would come to me, as well as parents and of course students, regarding homework and the necessity to have it at all. And many studies have been done to say that it's not necessary. All learning can take place during the school day. Again, I have not delved into that enough to be able to speak intelligently on it, so I won't. But my question is, do we have a policy in place?
Mr. Clear, is it a teacher policy or a school-wide policy on homework?
The school-wide policy on homework is like the shop week homework or the offset week homework. It's just it's not supposed to be so bad that, you know, you lose your vacation over it. It's supposed to be a small amount, so for remembering pieces, being a vocational school, 1 week on, 1 week off, it's trying to remember those math formulas the following week, or science formula, or just trying to stay intact within the school itself. Because it's not, you run over a weekend or 1 week vacation, you're going like 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks, and a lot of repetition when you come back to school. So I don't believe in giving a lot of homework either. I feel they should be evenly spread out. Giving a couple of problems, say, do this over the next week, just remember, not 11 o'clock on Sunday night, but try to keep things up that way is the important thing. But you might find the AP courses, those kids might be the ones that are complaining because those are the ones that get the most. They have the most riding on college credits at the end if they have to get to a certain level. And there's a lot they have to perform with, so that group there could end up getting a lot more.
Good, answer your question, or?
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, again, I don't really want to be too involved with the day-to-day, but yeah, I would just ask that, unofficially, we take a look at that. And as Cliff said, I think it is important that we keep these students alert so that they don't forget everything that they learned from 2 weeks before. I've been witness to that as well. However, if we could make sure that the work is viable, the work that they are doing is important and does actually follow the curriculum, and it's not just, and not to throw this out there to instructors, but that it's not just busy work because they think they have to give them that work on that off week, as long as it's meaningful work.
Any other questions or comments on Harminder's report? I would just echo, I think it's really important to make your classmates aware of the changes that have resulted from the survey, because that would encourage them to participate in future surveys too. So keep up the good work. Thank you.
Eric,
Oh, no.
I have a question. Is the STAR program still enacted, or is it gonna be enacted? And are we gonna do the memorial representation to the names in honor on the honor guard with situation that we do with the military in May? Are we gonna do that again this year?
So through the chair, we're a go on that. STAR is in place, and we fully intend to.
Cause time
open
flies,
more.
and it just, I was just wondering, and if the STAR program, is that still available to students?
Yes.
So do we have participation in using the equipment and so forth, and getting them to understand how to function so we can use them in the procedure?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
So what you're saying is I'll have Nancy reach out to you for the agenda and the specifics for the day, right?
Thank you.
You got it.
All right, moving on to old business. I don't see any old business on the agenda. I don't think we have anyone here on the citizens' participation. So moving on to new business. There are no presentations this evening. And item B has to do with surplus equipment.
Sure. Through the chair, the superintendent director, the school business manager, the vocational director, and the technology director recommend the school committee vote to place a booklet maker, a Micronet spectrum sensitometer, a Heidelberg press, an ISP stitcher, and a 3D heat press from Graphic Communications, a Makita 4.5-inch grinder from Metal Fabrication and Joining Tech Department, and as a result of a recent inventory audit, an extensive list of technology equipment from our IT department on the surplus equipment list to be disposed of according to the school committee surplus equipment policy using the most appropriate method available.
So moved.
We have a
I'll
motion.
second that.
We have a motion and a second to accept the recommendation for the surplus equipment. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Under information and proposals, report from the superintendent director.
Sure, through the chair, I submitted a written report, prepared to answer any questions regarding that. If there are no questions, I just call to your attention two specific items. One, I'm very excited to share that the district has been awarded a Career Technical Initiative Adult Training Grant totaling nearly $580,000. Specifically, the Southern Worcester County Regional Vocational School District has been awarded $579,710, which will provide training to 90 participants for advanced manufacturing, culinary, and HVAC positions. We will partner with A&M Tool and Design, All Points HVAC, Angry Panda Food, CK Smith, Superior Company, Dexter, Flexcon, FW Web, General Mechanical Contractors, Great Oak Pizza, Pine Ridge Country Club, and Prime Metals. For full information, I provided the link to the press release on that, and I want to particularly thank Lori Douthright, Director of Adult Education, James Tripp, Director of CBTE, Jennifer Statura, Assistant Director of CBTE, Derek Henriksen, Lead Teacher in Culinary, Tate Osagai, Lead Teacher of Advanced Manufacturing, and Herb Rounds, Teacher of HVAC, as well as each of our industry partners that assisted with the filing of this grant proposal, and we look forward to bringing these much-needed training opportunities to our communities on that. So that was just made public, and it's a great opportunity to meet the needs of our current industry partners who are facing the same situation that all across the nation, a shortage of workers, skilled workers, and this will provide them free, tuition-free, working with our partners at Mass Hire, ComCorp, to address and provide credentials. So it's a 200-hour minimum program, and they'll leave with a credential in each one of those categories, and we'll provide them with placement opportunities as well, so that they're successfully placed for 30 days upon completion. And that's part of the agreements that our industry partners have made, that they will interview and they will hire the people who complete on this. So it's a great package, and part of that money is to incentivize completion of the program, as well as to provide supports for students, our adult students. This is for unemployed or underemployed employees to get the certificate so they can get, quality wages in those fields in advance through that. So the supports that we could offer are, if they don't have transportation, there's not regional transportation, we can provide Uber vouchers, we can, if their car broke down, they can apply and we can look at it and get their car fixed, and daycare issues and different things like that. So not only are we providing opportunities, we're providing the supports to enable them to take advantage of this fantastic opportunity. And again, if it wasn't for the partnerships that we have with the industries, it would have been a more difficult reach to secure this grant. But when each one of our lead teachers and our director reached out, we had more than enough industry partners who said, yeah, we're on board with that, and they'll help design the curriculum on it. So happy to announce that. And the other important item is that we did submit our response to the Commissioner Riley on the admissions attestation, and I included a copy of that, so if you look through that. Now we just wait to see what the Commissioner indicates on whether they'll step in or if they'll allow us to proceed with the application process for our incoming 8th graders as planned.
Bob?
I was shocked when I read 600 applicants for the freshman class. Is that abnormal, or is that normal?
It's normal, it's normal. So those are total applicants. It's not completed applications. Those are just raw numbers of those who started the application process. The completed applications, we won't know until after we finish. We're heavily entrenched with the interviews now, so that's part of completing it. So we won't be able to tell you what is completed until later when they, are all done. But yeah, that's on par now.
It's a positive number, it really is. It's startling when I first read it, and I go, what? They must think that we must be a great school.
Because we are.
We are.
Any other questions regarding the superintendent's report?
Can I ask about the talent? I read.
You had your question, Bob.
The talent. The student talent night? What's all that about?
You can sing, dance, read poetry, slam poetry, whatever your talent is, you audition, and if you made the cut, you can participate in the talent. Come down and
Is
see
that
what it's all
open to
about.
school committee
What
members?
trick are you gonna do, Kyle? What trick are you gonna do that night?
There's many hidden talents.
All right, next up, we have subcommittee reports. We'll start with the audit subcommittee.
Something to report?
Budget subcommittee,
Nothing at this time.
building and grounds subcommittee. I know we have something there.
Yes, we do. We had a meeting tonight. As many of you know, on the 15th, many of us on the building and subcommittee viewed the three shops that we seem to have some situations in. And we're bringing the motion to the full school committee that we.
Want me to read it? Would it be easier if
Yes,
I read it?
it'd be easier that Sue would do a better job than I would.
Well, these are Sue notes, I'll just read it for her. A motion was made by James Caldwell to recommend that the full school committee vote to authorize the superintendent to seek RFPs to conduct an architectural engineering study for the dental assisting, X-ray, and metal fabrication storage, and to investigate the temporary solutions for lead curtains for the dental assisting and a temporary storage container for metal fab.
Good job, Sue.
Team effort.
So that's the motion that my subcommittee is bringing towards the full committee.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, we see.
So, are there any questions on that, or is there somebody willing to make a motion to accept that recommendation that was made by the subcommittee?
Second.
Was that you, Doug? Oh, it was, okay. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right. That was it, right, Bob? Under buildings and grounds, okay. Next up, negotiation subcommittee.
We are in negotiations. We've got several meetings planned. It's going along.
All right. Policies. Oh, policy subcommittee.
Yep. We had met earlier this evening prior to the regular school committee meeting, and we had discussed the housing project policy. The superintendent director is going to speak with legal to find out specific questions about a policy that was presented. And we will meet prior to next school committee meeting, which is February 6th.
Okay, all right, thank you. And on the warrant subcommittee, as stated earlier, we have the warrants circulating. Future business, our next regular meeting, as Peter just stated, is on February 6th here in the conference room. Just a reminder too, we have the advisory dinner this Wednesday, right? Okay, so that's coming up this week as well. And as always, any future topics for agendas can reach out to myself or Kyle or Sue. Remarks from the superintendent?
Sure, through the chair, again, I just want to echo the sentiments for our two recent announcements. Sue, Cliff, you'll be profoundly missed. I know we still have time, plenty of time to work with you, but it is a bittersweet. I'm sad for the school and tremendously happy for the two of you. Thank you so much for your years and years of service. Years and years and years and years and years of service. Last week, there was, moving on, sorry. Last week, there was an article circulating on a blog that mentioned Bay Path and mentioned a lot of area schools and disturbing allegations. As soon as we were made aware of it, we investigated the allegations as they pertain to the school and anybody in the school, and we prepared a statement that fortunately didn't need to be used in case it got bigger traction. So I issued the following statement on an as-needed basis if anybody were to called the school and can share it with the committee. The administration is aware of the troubling allegations made by a former student against an armed forces recruiter who previously recruited at several high schools in central and western Massachusetts, including Bay Path. After learning of these allegations this week, we notified both the Charlton Police Department and the Sturbridge Army Recruiting Office. We also immediately launched an internal investigation in an effort to determine if any of the alleged misconduct stemmed from encounters at our school. Through records, we have determined that this individual has not been in our school since at least March of 2020. In light of these allegations, we have issued a no trespass order barring him from school property. We are deeply disturbed by the allegations and are committed to supporting anyone in our community who may have been affected by this. We also pledge to cooperate fully with Charlton Police on this matter. And so that's it. Fortunately, again, we did find out that this individual had been suspended when the initial allegations were brought against him back in 2019, and they are no longer employed in the United States military on that. So we have no knowledge of any of these allegations until we notify the communication on that blog. So that's it.
All right, thank you. And I want to thank Kyle too, because as soon as this came to light, he did reach out, and he also engaged the PR people to help author that statement should it be needed. So it was quick action and reaction to the news of that blog. So thank you for being on top of that.
So what exactly happened to this guy?
There are allegations of improper contact with individuals at the high schools, social media, his my personal social media, things like that.
So he's been discharged from the military?
I believe it, yes. We contacted the Sturbridge headquarters and they confirmed that. And I say March 2020, our records, which again shows why we do what we do, we were able to scour our database for the sign-in, visitor sign-in. And it goes back as far as July. We felt we're safe in saying March because school closed March in 2020. But we were able to see every single visitor that came to the school. We scoured it for the name, both first, last, both, designation as recruiter for the particular branch. And we didn't see any, so we feel confident that, it's been a long time.
Bob?
That doesn't affect recruiting. Recruiting is still being done at the school by the armed forces of our great country?
Absolutely.
It is?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, yeah. Just the actions of one, I hope, do not reflect on all members, proud members of our United States military. They were just here last week, as I was chasing us down, I saw the United States Marine walking out. So, yes, we are actively recruiting.
As you're aware, I'm bringing a West Point speaker on February 8th to speak to students in the school who might be interested in a military career at the academy. He's also speaking at Wachusett as well as the Veterans Group in Paxton. So he'll be here on the 8th of February to tell a story about West Point.
Nice.
Thanks, Bob. All right, comments from the committee. We'll start on this side, Mike.
So we're gonna miss you.
Oh, thanks, I'm gonna miss you too.
Yeah, great job. Thank you very much for all your hard work.
Oh, you're welcome.
And happy
It's been
retirement. Enjoy your time off.
I'm looking forward to it.
Cliff, I can't believe how long you've been here. I didn't know you were here that long. You came with the school. Wow, didn't know that. Congratulations. Thanks for all your hard work. I'm gonna miss you. Tough shoes to fill here.
Dave, you're up.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to work with Sue personally as chairperson, and the center cog that holds everything together always goes through your office. It goes through you, and to Joe's point about everything that we've done and the school's done has gone through you to Kyle and the big guy in the corner over there. So I just want to say thank you. Can't say enough, can't sum up in 2 minutes what 31 years has done. So suffice to say,
It's good. It's good.
yeah, suffice to say thank you from the bottom of our heart, really.
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's been a good run.
Absolutely. You set the bar. I mean, it's gonna be tough. It'll be tough. Cliff, man, oh man, I've been a principal at Voc Ed, and I know what you've done and put things together and day-to-day ops, man. A lot to be said about that. And the nice thing is that you've done it quietly. You've done it your way, and you didn't have to be up front and didn't need the pat on the shoulder all the time. And that says a lot about you and what you've done. So thank you for that. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Sue, I hope the next gal or fellow has good taste like these pens.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Miss you a lot.
Miss you too.
Yeah, and Cliff will miss you a lot. But you could go hunting together.
With her husband.
With
She
the,
carries a gun, I don't know. Dangerous.
thanks to both of you.
Bill.
Her name is Sue. I'll do you too.
Only you, Al, only you.
That's a Johnny Cash song.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
I love John Cash.
You ever hear of Johnny Cash? He's sitting right over there, he's no cash. So good luck. I enjoyed working with you. And Cliff, his name is Cliff. Drop over sometime. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, I go back a couple of years with you, Sue.
Yeah, I
And
think so.
I'll miss, most people say that he's the boss. What do I always say when I call you?
How you doing, boss?
Because I know how things work. Over the years, you've made every superintendent look good,
Yeah, thanks.
and that's a challenge with some.
Some.
And I go back a couple of years with Cliff back when he was a student here. And he looked like a brown Q-tip because he was so skinny. He had this afro hair. And we tormented him. Well, Joanne Robleski and I used to torment poor Cliff. We even made him superintendent director for a short time. We planned to stick a superintendent sign on his desk. He didn't notice for 3 days.
Superintendent did.
Until the superintendent at the time came in and looked down and said, "What's that, Cliff?" But Cliff, it's been great, and we'll miss you.
There you go.
I just want to say thanks to both of you, and I don't think we're gonna appreciate all you've done until you're gone. You know, that's when the reality check's gonna hit. You know, they're gonna say, oh, Sue used to do this, or Cliff used to do that. And, you know, there's gonna be some drop balls after you leave, and, you know, to your credit, you always kept the balls in the air, both of you. I think you know, done a great job, and the school has been the benefit of the students and the school have had the benefit of your efforts. But,
Thank you.
you know, wish you the best, you know, enjoy. Hopefully it'll be a long and fruitful retirement. And always the best.
Thank you both. Probably the most difficult correspondence I've had to read in the couple of years I've been doing this. And Kyle, God bless you. You've got some big shoes to fill. So good luck with your search and interviewing processes.
So Sue and Cliff, if I get this right, you must have started at about the age of 10. With all those years in. But you will find, after the initial few weeks, few months of retirement. And I hate to say it, there's not gonna be a whole lot of tears in your eyes, because you'll get used to that retirement, because it's been very, very well deserved on both of your parts, and you've given it 100% every day, and you know that you have fulfilled, I won't say your existence, but fulfilled your position, and then some at Bay Path. So thank you very much.
And last year we lost was Mr. Yakabuchi. He's still, there's a lot of a lot of experience the school's losing. And I was just thinking about this when someone was retiring from another. I'm sure with the superintendent and the teachers, it's not going to hurt the school significantly, but it's going to be a tall order to replace these people. I can tell just from watching Sue does, you know, she helps the superintendent a lot, I'm sure, and with all her experience, there's a lot of institutional memory that's going, especially with this gentleman. I know he's been here half a century. That's a long time. I hope you both, I'm sure you will remain part of the Bay Path family, because I think there's going to be a need for consultation. It's not something, you don't lose people with this kind of background and without it affecting the institution itself. But thank you for your service, and I hope the people that follow you do a great job as well. I guess that's up to Kyle to find the right people. Hopefully there's that kind of skill available.
Well said. Through the chair, I'll address this one at a time. I have very little time on this committee, so I've only had this much opportunity to see what Sue does at this table and what she brings to the table as far as the minutes, the documents, and everything has been precise, as some other members have mentioned. On a professional level, I'd said in the past, Sue could do the superintendent's job based on, you know, what she knows about that office, and I said that several times over the many years that I was at Bay Path. Maybe I exaggerated a little bit, but I just saw so many times the superintendent's going to her for information. So wealth of information, and when you talk about work ethic, second to none. And just thank you for what you've brought to the district and to myself personally on a professional and personal level. You know, the things that you go through over 21 years of being employed in a place, and sometimes I had to lean on Sue to get me through my classwork, what the next step was, so to get me my professional development, to get me through my degrees, and she was always there. And if I wasn't keeping proper documentation, I could always depend on her to have the documentation. So, and then, you know, the many trials and tribulations you go through, you know, as a dad, as a son, Sue was always there to lend that shoulder, and I appreciate that, and the district certainly appreciates everything that you've done for it. And Cliff, same thing, 21 years together, all the way back to when we used to integrate as a grading system, and I didn't know the keyboard of the computer from the monitor, because, you know, 20-something years ago, computers were still somewhat new. Cliff was always there to help out with that process. And again, you won't find someone more dedicated to a district, someone who legitimately cares about the district and is here on the Hill, first one here, last one gone, here on the weekends, here for every sporting event. So yeah, certainly a career that should be applauded, and I wish you the best and thank you for all you've done to the district and for me on a personal level.
Well, Sue and Cliff, you know, we go through our whole careers and everybody keeps telling us not to get too comfortable because you can be replaced. Well, in this case, I don't think that's going to be very easy, and there's going to be quite a vacuum that's left when you folks are gone. And I personally miss you a lot. You've done a lot for the board and for me personally, and I'm very grateful. So thank you for your service, and retirement's a hell of a lot of fun.
So Mary.
Well, I would personally like to tell you and share with all the joy that I was able to get by the troubled waters and come back and enjoy this wonderful committee. And I would also like to say that I will offer up the prayers for Jocelyn Gosha, one of our members who is in a recovering mode, and I wish her all a wonderful recovery back to good health. And as far as Sue, I can only say it's been wonderful serving with you. I love your emails. The situation is when we went to the train station for Papani, we had a fantastic time, and I met your family and everything. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And with Cliff, all I could say is, I can't run into you to the Wintiki because it's not there anymore. Wish Cliff all the wonderful success. Take care of yourself and keep busy.
Sue, Cliff, two dedicated individuals who did Bay Path proud. I want to thank you both. Enjoy your retirement. Believe it or not, it's tough when you first start, but you'll get used to it. Cliff, you don't have to call in sick. You got plenty of sick time. I want to thank both of you. It was a joy to work with both of you, and enjoy your retirement. Thank you.
Well, as I said earlier, it's kind of a sad day for Bay Path, because we're losing two wonderful, dedicated employees for the school. But on the other hand, you gotta be happy that they're joining the ranks of us retirees. That every morning you get up and say, well, what will I do today? And you'll get used to that. And no 4:30 in the morning calls and all that kind of stuff. You'll get used to being, what do I do today? Do I do laundry, or do I do something else, or what the case may be? But thank you, Sue, and I lean on you quite a bit when I call you. And Cliff, hey, we're gonna get those fields, Cliff. We're gonna get those fields. But I just want to add something else, that back in December, Mrs. Cody took two Bay Path students to the youth speech contest that we held in Leicester for the Lions, along with 5 students from Wachusett. 2 of our students are moving on to the next level. They beat 4 of the 5 Wachusett students in the youth speech contest. So it's amazing, and it's a great job that Mrs. Cody and the kids have done in that program. The other thing, Amanda, thank you for being one of our charter Leo members, because sometime this month or early February, we're going to have a charter night here, and we have 24 new Leos that will be the Bay Path Leo Club. And Amanda, you're going to be one of them. Thank you.
I think, like most of you, I was kind of shocked by tonight's announcements. I certainly didn't see it coming. Like Mr. Scobie said, as far as Sue's concerned, she was always on top of everything as an instructor, or as an administrator. She helped me out so much. I don't think there's anyone that can multitask like Sue can. It's just unbelievable. She's professional, just hardworking. It's going to be very difficult to replace her. Mr. Cludier bleeds purple, and I don't think there's anyone that would have been surprised if they had to carry him out of here. I'm glad he took the bait, and he's going to retire and enjoy himself. But I never saw that coming. Thank you, Cliff, for all your hard work.
To the future retirees, there was a mention of, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll think about what I'm going to do. My comment is, there's tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Future thinking, there's tomorrow. And that was great. Sue, thank you for your support. 4 years as chairman of this
group, the committee. You broke in a new chair and a new superintendent that year with Dave Papaya. So we appreciate that. And to Cliff, thank you for your many years and your support. As I said, there's always tomorrow. Cherish the friendship that you've developed over the years. Cherish the memories, and thank you.
I guess I'm wrapping it up. Well, not quite, because I guess Joe will have something to say, but Sue, thank you. Much like Dave and many others who have served as chairman, you were very helpful in a lot of things. And I know you've done a lot for the school, and well-deserved retirement. I'm sure you're gonna have a great time with your family, so congratulations. And Cliff, I can confirm, because I sat in that big computer room next to electronics, where you were in, that you have been here for a long time. And one could almost say you've never left high school, because you've been here since then. But done a great job for the school, and thank you for that. I appreciate it. From myself and my children that came through here as you were principal, and I appreciate all that you did. So thank you for all your work.
I feel a bit awkward because I've been here for 3 months and don't really know what's, I don't know much about what you've done or what he's done, but.
It's been a lot.
Thank you anyway. Thank you.
Thanks, Arminda. I pretty much said my piece. I just want to kind of hone in on something that Bob pointed out. Future retirees. We've got several months left with both of you, so we're going to take full advantage. I'm going to look at the bright side of things. I also, on another note, I do want to congratulate everyone that was involved in acquiring that grant that we were told about tonight. I think that's going to present some great opportunities for a good number of people, as well as for the instructors to be able to teach those folks. So congratulations to everyone who was involved in that. And to the 2 students that Bob mentioned, advancing in the youth speech contest, that's great as well. So with that, I don't have anything else, but we'll take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.